again, such an awesome opportunity to be a part of your life and a part of your learning experience on today. And our prayer is that the Lord will bless you today through our encounter. And I guarantee you, today should prove to be an interesting one, to say the least. Excuse me for sniffling. I do apologize for that ahead of time. Slept under the fan, and I might be, trying to catch a cold, but it's all good because I know what to do to take care of that. Guaranteed, guaranteed. So that's not a problem at all. And again, grateful to God for those of you who are sharing with us on today. Make sure that you share. That is so important, especially with this subject matter. I'm asking that you would be kind enough to share so that others will be able to be a part of this learning experience on today. And we shall proceed from there, just waiting for the pages to come up and to do what they do. Sometimes it takes a moment for especially my page to come up for some reason, but we're here and we're grateful to God for you. Let me move this here, move that there. All right, we're up and running. Ayana, how are you? Jasmine, good to see you this evening. Give me a second here so I can pull up this other page and go from there. Gail, good to have you with us on today. Sharon, good evening to you. Good evening to all of you. Carolyn Williams, good to see you this evening. Good to have you with us as we continue in our studies. Karen, good to have you. Michelle, good to have you with us on today. Good to have all of you there. Laverne, good to see you. Debbie, Minister Michael, good to have all of you as you are coming on board with us today. And we will get ready. Larry, good to have you. Linda, good to have you. If you would be so kind, you don't have sound. Let me take a look here and see. Hello? Oh, I don't know. Can everyone else hear me? Good evening, Elder. How are you? Nancy, Ethel, good to have you on board with us. Anyone else? Anyone does not have sound? Anyone cannot hear me? Good evening, Cecile. How are you? You can hear me, Debbie? Linda, Elder, Ethel, Gail, I need to know if you can hear me. Deacon Thomas, good to see you coming on board. Good evening to you one and all. Thank you, Lavernon. I appreciate that. Do you have sound on there? Janet, good to have you. Debbie, good. Marcus, what's going on, my friend? You have sound. Okay, Carletta, I'm not sure what's wrong, but everyone else seems to have sound. So we're doing pretty good there. Minister Philly, how are you? You can hear. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate that. Good to have you. Good to have you. Good to have you. Okay, good. 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 Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sharon. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. She's got it. Sister Thomas, how are you? Minister Sarah, how are you? You okay? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can you hear me now? I had to do that. I couldn't help myself. I just couldn't help it. It just kind of happened like that. Okay. Um, and again, I do apologize. Hey, Jaleesa, Patty, Pat, how you doing this evening? I do apologize um, ahead of time for the sniffling, but we slept under the fan, and of course, I'll be the person who's sniffling all over the place. So, again, I'm asking that you would forgive me, and I'll be doing that from time to time. Okay, and go from there. Athena, good to have you. Good to have you. Good to have. Carletta says she's fixed it. All right. Fantastic. Fantastic. Please share. Please share. Please share. Please share because this is going to be a very interesting subject matter. And I pray that you will be able to be, that you will benefit from this, that you will be blessed from this. Um, Paulette, how are you? Uh, well, now here's the problem, Marcus. I can't take elderberry, and the reason I can't, Minister Avery, how are you? The reason I can't is because I take a shot every month for my psoriasis, and it suppresses my immune system, so I can't build my immune system up. So it just Darnita, good to see you. Good to have you. Sandra, I see you as you're coming on. So that's my dilemma. So I have to suffer through it. But I do have a couple of things that I can do. But yeah, elderberry is really good for that. Good evening, Lady Harrison. Good to have you with us. So I have some stuff that I'm going to take as soon as we get done. I guarantee you in the morning, I'll be doing just fine. Listen. Let's begin our lesson. Make sure you share. Make sure, please, ma'am, please, sir, make sure you share with your group, with your on your page. Um, that way we can get this out to as many people as we possibly can, because I believe that this is probably, um, Barbara, it's going to be very controversial. It's going to. Cora, how are you? um, Eva, how are you? It's going to be different. It's going to be deep, because I'm dealing with the fact LIMPS created through cultural biased and prejudicial behavior. I want us to think about this for just a second, Denise. This is important for us to look at, especially in the age and the times in which we are living in now. Now, I need to preface this, Nicole, for just a second so that you can understand that I am not here tonight to just talk about the issues that exist between black and white people. I'm even going to talk about the issues that exist between black people. This ought to be interesting because a lot of times when you're talking about the age that we live in, we many times, thank you, Maria, for sharing. I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know that you shared. Um, in the times in which we live now, uh, civil rights movement and all of the things that are happening and all of the things that are going on and the things that began in the 50s and 60s and are now even beginning to escalate to an unbelievable level now. I want us to think about that, because even right now we live in overwhelmingly prejudicial times. We live in times where, yeah, I'm doing that. I got you, man. I can do that, Marcus. Thank you. The thing that that just just eats at us is the fact that we can live in a nation that is so divided, Minister Fay. We can live in a nation that is so filled with hatred. and disdain and disgust, until it's just absolutely unbelievable. It's unbelievable that people who claim to have levels of intelligence, and I need to take that a step further. I'm talking about even claim to love God, worshipers of the Lord Jesus Christ, can yet still carry within them this hatred, because of color, because of nationality. Even right now in our nation, they are going after Asian Americans. They are fighting them. They just in northern Atlanta, we see that 8 people died. I mean, we're seeing all of these things that are happening, and these prejudicial activities that are going on, Lisa. And the problem is, it comes from something. These notions are not just made up, but they are nurtured in the spirit of hatred only because of difference. Oh my God. Even gender. Oh Lord, help me. Even gender has and is a problem. Women and men and all of this other kind of stuff. And then there's this fight for identity, to be recognized, to be understood. And all of these things are beginning to come to a head. All of these things are getting ready to just, they're exploding right now. Hey, Brittany, they're exploding, Lisa. They are to the point now, and I'm not Pastor Treese, I'm not paranoid, but I'm overwhelmingly cautious, because in the age we live in now, I wish I had, that's right, Sylvia, I wish I had somebody who can catch what I'm saying, and I pray that you're catching this. It's almost to the point, yes, white supremacy toward African Americans, but not just us. Anybody of a brown hue, anybody who, for the most part, doesn't look like or act like, that's why Asian Americans, they're just as white people. And yet still, because of the difference, and that's what I've got to deal with, is the fact that Satan has planted this seed. And not only has this seed been planted against different hues, okay, but it has also been planted within cultures themselves. Oh, let me teach it. In case you're wondering where I'm coming from with this, in the Gospel of John chapter 4 is a very, very fascinating encounter that Jesus is having. And in the midst of that, we see that there was this misnomer that had taken place, that Jesus had now baptized more people than John the Baptist. And, it's going on. And so they're lying on Jesus. And the reason that they're lying is because they said Jesus has now baptized more people than John the Baptist. And so here's what the Pharisees are trying to do. They're trying to create this level of discourse, even among those who are even looking in Jesus's way, to hear and to follow him. And so they're trying to create that, and it's not true. And so he also understands that the Pharisees' intent is to kill him. Now, there's something you've got to know, and you have to understand this, and you have to see this unequivocally clear, is that Jesus's time of death is not in the hands of men, but in the timing of the Father. Okay? And that's something that we all must recognize and understand. And so there will never be a premature activity in the move of God. Everything is timed. Everything is strategically put in place whereby the ultimate result of God through Jesus Christ being glorified takes place, will happen the way God has preordained for it to happen. Well, because of this encounter, we see quite clearly that as they are on their way, we see that Jesus goes through this city called Samaria. And when he gets into this city called Samaria, because he was tired. Now you got to remember, everywhere they went, they walked, and that's another issue that I really don't want to get into. That's right. Sunday morning is the most segregated time that there is, because we ain't worshiping together. Because, and I'll tell y'all a story if I can remember it when I get to a certain point. It's going to really solidify where I'm coming from. Jesus was tired because everywhere they went, they walked. They didn't have transportation, and it's hot. That's where, hey Lois, it's difficult for me to embrace this notion of color, but I'm gonna leave that alone, because everything over there is brown. Oh God, I said it. I'm sorry. And so in the midst of that, it is the time when the heat is hot, and he comes to this place called Sychar. And the funny thing about it is, the actual interpretation of this city is the drunk city, or the lay city. Okay, now we got to talk about this for just a second, because there is this disdain that exists equally between the Samaritans and the Jews. All right? Are y'all with me so far? I think this is something that we need to catch and recognize. It's not that the Jews hate the Samaritans. It's the fact that the Samaritans hate the Jews. Hey, Daryl, how are you this evening? Catch this, because the enemy, Satan, Lucifer, has orchestrated it so that two people will hate each other to the point that they will not even tolerate the existence and coexistence of each other, because of what one said about another. Oh, I wish I had some help. I wish I had, because this sounds awfully familiar, that there's this overwhelming hatred now that exists between people, and the reason that it exists is because there are Jews who decided that they were going to marry Gentiles. And by marrying Gentiles, they now created a mixed race. Can we talk about this for just a second? And I'm gonna just see if y'all really honest. I'm really gonna see if y'all honest about this, because as Pastor Thomas would say, confession is good for the soul but bad for the reputation. I just want to use something that he said. I had to get over my prejudice when I saw black and white dating and marrying. I know some of y'all ain't gonna own up to that, because when I was growing up, I grew up in a culture, and it was usually solidified biblically that the thing that we needed to do was not commingle with other races. Black people needed to marry black people. White people needed to marry white people. Asians needed to marry Asians. Japanese needed to marry Japanese. Mexicans needed to marry Okay, I know this might not work out well for some of you, but the truth of the matter is I had to arrest Gladys and deal with my own prejudicial notions because I used to become infuriated when I would see a black man and a black woman holding hands, walking somewhere, kissing and enjoying life. I hated it. I probably hated it just as much as white people who were looking at the same picture. Now, where did my hate come from? Okay. Okay, I'm glad there's at least a couple more of you out here that felt the way that I did, and it makes me feel good to know that I'm not by myself in this. It drove me insane. I would want to walk up to them and tell them, you know, this ain't right. God ain't pleased with this. You know, we're not supposed to be unequally yoked. We have no business commingling with the oppressor. Yep, I'm sounding Islamic militant. Oh, y'all not catching what I'm saying. Nation of Islamic militant. To the point where, and you got to remember where we've come from. You got to remember what we've come from. You got to remember what we've come through. Where there was this time in growing up when we, okay, all right, when we weren't allowed certain places, couldn't go. So some of y'all too young, y'all don't know anything about this. But for those of us who are older, okay. Yeah, we all have a little bit of that slave-like thinking in our, and the reason that we have it is because it's how it was nurtured. We were nurtured in prejudice, but never thought we were prejudicial. Okay. And so in the midst of this, I wish I had some help. I wish I did. I wish I had. I thank God for those of you who are being honest out here so that you could catch where I'm coming from. It drove me crazy. When I say it drove me crazy, it drove me insane. I couldn't take it. I couldn't handle it. I had a disdain for them. I thought it was a shame that a black man would date a white woman. Something needed to happen to him, won't take him out to the woodshed, beat his tail. I thought it was a shame that a black woman would want to even be bothered with a white man because those are the oppressors. Those are the people who have put us down, kept us down, who have misused us. And then we have the unmitigated gall to marry them and have children. Not realizing that back in the day that I'm talking about, those children caught pure and divine because, guess what? Those children had to go to the predominantly white schools where excuse me, they were going through prejudicial experiences. And I'm just going to deal, because see, we always want to blame white people, but black folk are just as prejudiced as white people. And we got to figure out why. This Jesus, I'm back to the biblical context, because anything that I'm going to deal with has to have a true biblical context. Jesus comes to this place called Jacob's Well. And while he was there, sitting at the well, this Samaritan woman comes along. And when she comes there, it didn't really bother you. Bless your heart, Cecile. I can't say that. That's not my testimony. That's not. Now, I'm not saying that I'm like this now. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's a soul-searching moment that has to take place in our lives to make sure that we are not as those we claim are prejudiced with another level of prejudicial activity that's going on. Okay? I want y'all to catch this. And so this Samaritan woman shows up. The disciples were sent into the city so that they could get them something to eat and then come back. And while Jesus is there, Jesus turns around and says, "Can you just give me something to drink? Can you get me some water?" And the woman looks at him and says, "How is it that you, being a Jew, want to talk to me?" Now here's the question. What was it about these two brown people that let this woman recognize that he was a Jew? Now, there's two distinguishing things about Jesus that stood out in this Samaritan woman's mind, that she recognized that he was a Jew. The first thing that she saw was how he dressed. His garment distinguished him from being different from the Samaritans. What he wore, the garment that he wore, was different from what the Samaritans wore. But there was also a difference in the dialect that Jesus spoke in and the dialect that the Samaritan woman spoke in. Oh, bless his name. I want somebody to catch this. I want somebody to catch this so you can see this very clearly. This woman's speech was different than what Jesus's speech was, because there was a Aramaic tone to Jesus's dialect that was different from that of the Samaritan woman. And when she got there, just when he opened his mouth and said a few words, he recognized that this man normally, now I want us to look at this, because I want us to look at this. This man has no business talking to me, and the reason he should not talk to me is because he represents a race of people that I can't stand. Now, can I go a little bit deeper with this? Can I go a little bit? I know I'm sounding like TD Jakes. Can I go just a little bit deeper with this? Because I hope you're getting this and you're catching this. Jesus has never done, said, or participated in anything to demean this woman. But because of past prejudicial experiences, she has now presupposed that this Jesus is no different than the oppressors or the Jewish nation of oppression that she has become accustomed to. Oh, y'all ain't talking to me. I hope you're listening to what I'm saying. Can you do me a favor, please? Put in the chat. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what he's saying, because I need this to get deep down in you, because you can't expect from other people what you yourself are not willing to be set free from. Okay, are y'all with me? Y'all ain't with me. Y'all ain't with me. Y'all here's what you've got to see. She assumed that this same level of prejudice existed in Jesus according to the same level of prejudice that not only, are y'all ready? Not only has she experienced, excuse me, but her people have experienced from before. That's it. Thank you, Veronica. Yeah, put that in the chat real quick. Listen to what I'm saying, because sometimes we don't really hear what we should hear because what we want to hear is not what we're hearing. I want y'all to catch that if you don't catch anything else. This is important. Jesus has done nothing to her. He's sitting on the well before she gets there. She comes there, Erica, and when she comes there, Jesus asks her a few words. Can I have something to drink? She immediately identifies him as the oppressor. She immediately identifies him as the one she can't trust. She immediately presupposes in her mind that this man cannot be trusted. This man, that's right, stereotypical. This man, Myrna, cannot, and don't we do that, y'all? Yeah, I said it, y'all. Don't we do that all the time? Do we not put everybody in the same basket? Do we not culturally? Now, I'm getting ready to go a little deeper with this. I hope y'all can catch this, because we don't just do this black to white. We also do it black to black. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. How many times do we get upset with someone who doesn't speak as white as some of us do? Woo-hoo. Let me take me a drink of water on that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm going to deal with this. Because some black folk have a different dialect. And we automatically assume that it's crouched in ignorance. Sometimes we call it thick tongue. And so what we fail to understand, I'll give you an example. Give you an example. I was watching the BBC because I try to watch other news than the news over here. And there are black folk in the UK who are in the news media, and they've got lips like we do. Now, they don't talk like we do, but you can tell there's a difference in their dialect. They are just as educated, they are just as efficient, they are just as capable, but guess what we do? Not only, glory to God, not only do we have a sense of prejudice toward white people, we got prejudice about our own people. Now that droopy draw stuff and all of that stuff, that's just ignorance and stupidity. I'm talking about just conversation. I'm talking about talking. This woman automatically raises her defense up. Jesus comes to her and she automatically assumes that he wants to subjugate her to what he needs with no regard to her own needs. Oh, teach, Pastor. I'm doing the best. I wish we had more people. I don't have a whole lot of folk on tonight. I want y'all to get this. If you don't get anything, I hope the subject didn't scare people away. I hope you get this if you don't get anything else. The limp can come in our lives through the association that we have had with destructive people. And here's what we will do. the enemy will fertilize it and then we'll water it because we have not been set free from it. Larry, I hope somebody's catching this. This is so important for us to recognize and to see. And so many times we live in a prejudicial motif, mad at white people, and then we are just as hateful toward our own. Oh, bless his name. Let me go. Let me go a little further. Jesus said, can you just give me some water? That's all I asked for. All I want you to do is just give me some water. And she turns around and says to him, how in the world, you being a Jew, LaTanya, have the unmitigated gall to ask me for some water when I know you don't have nothing to do with me? Now, wait a minute. Let's go a little bit further. Can we go just a little bit further with this? Her attitude is now showing. Oh, she's a sister. I can see her right now as she says, really? You want me to give you some water and you have nothing to do with us? You don't even allow us to worship together on this mountain where we are. You don't allow us to fellowship together. You don't allow us to do this. And now you have the nerve to come to me and think that I'm supposed to give you some. Oh, I can see the dialogue that's taking place right now, because I know y'all don't deal with us. What she's not saying is I don't deal with you either. Oh, she's trying to flip the script on Jesus as if the Jews are the only haters. But the Samaritans' hate is just as strong as the Jews. It's been recorded in history that when the Jews would come through Samaria, the Samaritans would not allow them to drink from the well because of the hatred that they have toward the Jews. Oh, Lady Frost, I wish I had somebody here to this is important. Because if we are going to overcome some of the limps and the issues in our life, the first person who has to be checked to see if there's a prejudicial issue in you is you. You can never expect from another person what you yourself are not willing to do. Here's what happens. Here's what happens. She says to him in no uncertain terms, she's like, partner, you don't have anything to do with us. Okay, that's right, Sylvia. She rising up on him. That's what she doing. I can see her now in her sisterhood, because now she's got an attitude toward this man. Because that's another issue. Oh, y'all don't like me tonight. That's another issue. Women are considered property. Women have no say so, but her own prejudice is blocking her from seeing the opportunity. First of all, okay, here we go. If Jesus really hated her, he would have never spoke to her. But Jesus is trying to break a barrier down in her so that she can become an instrument of truth because of where she's living right now. Jesus, Lord, have mercy. I wish I had somebody who's catching. I want to leap. I want to leap over this table so bad. Here's the problem. The Jews and the Samaritans, do not commingle with each other. They don't talk to each other. They don't cohabitate with each other. They don't encourage each other. They don't do any of those things. But Jesus, who is sitting on the well, as this woman comes and approaches him, speaks to her, which should not take place because she's a woman. So Jesus has already broken a barrier down, but she can't see it. And the reason she can't see it is because she's still operating in her past hurt and her past pain. Many of us cannot embrace the truths of a new day. And you know we have the nerve to do and to say, which is an amazing thing, this is our breakthrough day, and this is the new season, and the problem is you still operating in the old season. You still operating in the old thinking. You still operating in the old mindset, and you think God's going to anoint you for a new season, and you still operating in a season that is over. Okay, all right. This is too much. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I could feel it in my spirit. I knew this was coming, but I'm going to do what I got to do. Jesus has already broken down a barrier because he has acknowledged her existence. Oh, glory to God. Do you want to know? Can I go there? Do you want to know why gangs are so prevalent? Do you want to know why drug dealing is so prevalent? It's because it gives them identity. It gives them inclusiveness. It gives them a sense of belonging. It gives them a sense of being. It gives them a sense of self-worth, even to the point that they are willing to die to do what they do. Oh, yes, poverty has a lot to do with it. Yes, broken homes has a lot to do with it. But the fact that if I get in the gang, I'm identified as somebody. So whatever I got to do, or whoever I got to do, or whatever I got to do that will cause me to remain identified, I'm willing to do it because these people make me feel like somebody. Okay, I'm going to let that marinate for just a minute. They don't care how poor I am. They don't care how ugly I am. They don't care how nappy I am. They don't care how thick I am. They don't care anything about any of that. They accept me for who I am, and whatever I got to do to earn that acceptance, I'm willing to do it. Oh, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait on you. I got to get you to see this. Okay? And so Jesus said to her, if you really knew the gift of God and who you were talking to asking you for a drink, you would have said to him, give me this water. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. See, that's the problem with prejudice, is it creates an avenue where there's no acceptance. Because I have predetermined, or I have been pre-programmed to believe in my superiority over your inferiority, does not allow me to accept you as equal. Jesus, Lord. Okay, I'm trying. I really am. God knows I'm trying to stay in this seat, but I really want to do a lap around the basement because I need us to get this. I need us to understand what's going on, okay? Destructive people, destructive situations, destructive environments, and the enemy will use that limp to pull us down and to get us to wallow in pity and always blame other people for the position that we are in, rather than recognize and understanding that wherever I am right now is nothing more than a stepping stool to a greater sense of understanding of who God created me to be. And the problem is, Erica, there's not enough reinforcement in any culture. Oh, glory. in any culture that will cause you to accept someone of another culture as co-equal. Black people have always had to be 15 times better than white people. That's a given. If you know that's what you got to do, then you do what you got to do. But guess what we do? We'll sit there and whine, oh, you know, and then we come in sometimes. This is not everybody, so please don't think that I'm lumping all people in a basket. We come lazy, we come late, we do what we want to do, and then when we get checked, because you got to remember in the environment in which we live, we are always scrutinized above and beyond everybody else, because we don't go golfing with them, we don't go drinking with them, we don't hang out with them. Y'all better catch where I'm coming from. And if you know that's the culture that you're dealing with, you have to do what you need to do in order for you to achieve and to accomplish what God has called you to do. Now that was a sidebar for just a second. And so the woman says, "Sir, I can see her, because now he is scratching a scab and has pulled it open." And now she says, "Sir, you don't even have anything to draw with, and the well is deep." Can you see her attitude? First of all, he says, if you'd have known who you were talking to, you'd have asked me for some water. And she comes back and says, wait a minute. You don't have nothing to draw from, and the well is deep. So where are you going to get this living water from? See, he's breaking down the barrier, because now, okay, get this, whenever someone is in your business that you don't want them in, the first thing you do is develop an attitude of retaliation. I watch people do this all the time. When they'll come to you and say, help me, or they'll talk to you, and then when you start digging into the stuff, the first thing they do, oh, wait a minute now, wait, I ain't that bad now, I'm not that guy. Now, you can tell when you've been in there. Now listen, let me go a little bit deeper with this. I don't know your business. You came to me, I didn't come to you. And now that I've begun to peel off the layer, it's like peeling an onion. In order for you to get to the core, you got to peel off the layers. And when you start peeling off the layers, all of a sudden the true essence of the onion becomes evident. Ow! Looky here, looky here. The true evidence of the onion becomes evident. Why? Because as long as the layers are on there, you can hide the scent of the onion. How many of us have been hiding the scent? And God wants to peel the layers off of the onion to expose what's really there. And I can see, now wait just 1 minute, partner. You don't have nothing to get water with, and the well is deep. Are you greater than our father Jake? Now here she goes. Are you attacking my heritage? Are you attacking who I am? Are you coming after me? Because this is what I expect you to do. This is the reason why many times people cannot have meaningful relationships and they don't know how to deal with people in the appropriate manner, is because they always snapping on folk because of what somebody else did. They always going off on people because of what somebody else did. And they ain't got the wherewithal to deal with the person that did it to them. They're going to snap on you because they consider you to be less or weaker than the person that hurt them. And so that's what they do. Okay? And so now and Jesus said to her, Whoever drinks of this water will never thirst again. And whoever drinks of the water I will give them will never thirst. But the water that I shall give you will become in him a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life. And here's where it goes. Here's what happens. And I'm just about done. I don't run out of time. Here's what happens. He has now peeled back enough for the true aroma of her existence to become evident, and now she recognizes she no longer likes the smell. And what does it say? Give me this water, that I may not thirst or come here to die. Now, here's the misnomer. Here's the misnomer. And this is where I'm going to leave you. Next week, I'll deal with some more of this. Here's the misnomer. He has not yet peeled enough. She knows she needs more than what she has. But she's still stuck on where she is, not realizing that where she is not where she will stay. Listen, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your learning experience on tonight. When we come back next week, I'm going to go a little bit deeper with this. I'm going to deal a little bit more with this. But my prayer is that we need to understand, we need to recognize clearly, that many times LIMPS are created through cultural bias and prejudicial behavior, and many times we react and we act and we do things and react to people in many different ways only because we are operating out of our own prejudice, our own pain, our own presuppositions. And when I come together next week, I'm going to show you how Jesus finishes peeling the onion. And when Jesus gets done peeling this onion, her whole life is going to change. Not only is she going to change in her own life, but the life-changing experience that she's going to have with Jesus Christ is going to change not just her life, but her family and her entire city by one person who is being confronted with the pain and the prejudice of her past. And now she's going to be transformed. Can I get you to do something for me before you get off of here? Just put in the chat, I'm being transformed. If you could do that, because you can't be changed until you recognize the need for change. And many times, especially in Christendom, we always look at other people, okay? Good, B. I'm glad to hear that. Good, Cora. I need us to get this, okay? Because in order for us to be better, in order for us to be effective, we have got to deal with where we are so that we do not become what we see in others. That's right. Just put in the chat real quick, I'm being transformed. That's what this lesson was designed to do, for you to be transformed. Listen, love you. Love you one and all. I thank God for you giving me the time to share with you. Let me remind you, ladies, that the Women of Purpose weekend is coming up. And if you're going to be a part of the workshop on Saturday, thank you for doing that. Thank you for putting that in there. I appreciate that, because later on when you come back and you look at that, those words will now talk to you. Oh, glory. Because when you go back and look at this, when you're talking about I'm being transformed, Sheila, it will talk back to you. Okay, yeah, I know y'all don't believe me. I know y'all really don't believe me, but I'm telling you, if you ever go back and look at this again, and these are your words, even though I asked you to do it, they're your words, they'll come back to you. And all of a sudden, you'll be like, I'm being transformed. Because the power of life and death is in your tongue. Yes, see, here's the thing. The reason I asked you to do I'm being transformed is because now it personalizes it to you. Because many times we want other folk to be transformed. The first person that needs transformation is me. So that's why I asked you to put that in there. I'm being transformed. And when I'm transformed, then I can become an agent of transformation. Ladies, don't forget, it's on Facebook. You must be registered and you must be paid in order for you to participate. We're looking forward to the Reverend Danita Harris on Sunday morning that she'll be sharing with you. And I pray that you are being blessed by the encounters that we are having, and that we're going to continue to peel that onion. We're going to continue to get to that point where we understand who God intends, Pat, for us to be, juxtaposed to who we are right now. Love you, one and all. I thank God for each and every one of you. Continue to lift our church family up in prayer. Just continue to do that. I'll share more with you when more things become available to share some other things with you. Just keep each other lifted in prayer. Love you, one and all. May God bless you. May He keep you, is our prayer.